One of the best and worst things about the internet is that a lot of people have an opinion, and sometimes these opinions are wrong, especially when discussing conspiracy theories, particularly conspiracy theories about celebrities. Some are made in perfect seriousness while others are blatant jokes. However, saying that, today on Top 10 Beyond the Screen, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 10 celebrity theories you won't believe, part 2. Let's jump in. Coming in at 10, Britney Spears is a clone. Yet another clone. Apparently there are a whole flock of them running around in Hollywood right now. According to the theory, shortly before the release of the 1999 album, Baby One More Time, Britney and Justin Timberlake got into a car accident. Justin had some serious burns, but Britney was decapitated. So what did the peeps in Hollywood do? They brought out the clones. If you're worried about Justin Timberlake, don't. He's currently in a coma, and the version of him we see today is also a clone. I guess their clones weren't a fan of each other because they ended up marrying different people. Sad times. Coming in at number 9, Marisa Tomei didn't win an Oscar. Say it ain't so. I love My Cousin Vinny and I love Marisa Tomei even more. Personally, I believe she deserved the Oscar for the movie. Now, this scandal is on par with the La La Land accidentally being announced instead of Moonlight. At the 1993 Oscars, presenter Jack Palance was unable to read the name on his card announcing the winner for Best Supporting Actress. At a loss, he just blurted out Marisa Tomei for My Cousin Vinny. Now, in reality, there was no blundering and barely any pause. He simply opens the envelope and reads the name. In hindsight, I believe a lot of these theories stem from the fact that people didn't believe Marisa Tomei deserved to win the Oscar, which I think is completely unjust. Marisa Tomei cleared up the rumor in her opening monologue on SNL, stating, I quote, "There's this crazy rumor, some of you may have heard it, some of you may have not, that when I won the Academy Award for My Cousin Vinny, that I didn't really win the Oscar, that because Palance accidentally read the wrong name off the teleprompter. But that's just absolutely not true. I won the Academy Award, fair and square, and I was just the happiest I'd ever been since I was named Miss Teenage America." I mean, at least she has a sense of humor about the whole thing. In at number 8, Jennifer Lawrence fell on purpose. J-Law would never, I can tell you that, but let's hear what these theorists have to say, shall we? As we know, on her way to collect her Best Actress Academy Award at the Oscars for Silver Linings Playbook back in 2013, J-Law tripped going up the stairs and fell down, before composing herself and going up on the stage. However, some folks feel like the fall wasn't real and was instead a plot to get more attention for her and her dress designer Dior. It also plays into her shtick of being a normal, down-to-earth gal, but I don't believe this one at all. It's ridiculous. Dior don't need the attention. Dior is the attention. In at 7, Melania Trump has a body double. I absolutely love this theory, which I know isn't true. It's just so damn funny. It's not unheard of for political leaders to have body doubles. Many people in history have had them, including Saddam Hussein and Joseph Stalin. However, some folks out there have noticed that Melania Trump hasn't quite been acting like herself in her on-camera appearances, and her facial features look a little different than usual. She will often wear overly large sunglasses, which is typically a good disguise for someone hiding. It also doesn't help that her husband, President Donald Trump, is often wrong when he talks about her location. He also says strange things and has weird ways of referring to her. For example, I quote, "My wife Melania, who happens to be right here," which preempts the question whether his wife Melania was in fact right there. In at number 6, Keanu Reeves is immortal. Right off the bat, I believe this one. Keanu is a god and should be treated like one. We know some celebrities age better than others, however, Keanu Reeves is 52 and looks no different than he did when he was in his 20s, just has longer hair now. Not only that, but he also looks like a French actor from the 1800s, as well as Charlemagne and a host of other historical figures. This has caused some theorists to believe that Keanu Reeves is immortal and is traversing through history, and I am here for it in every way possible. In at number 5, John Travolta is also immortal. Now, this is a direct follow-on from our last point. Apparently John Travolta is immortal now as well. However, let's discuss Nicolas Cage first. Like Keanu, Nick Cage looks like historical figures as well, with him being the spitting image of a Confederate prisoner of war photographer. His roles have also hinted to him having supernatural traits. He played a 3,000-year-old wizard named Balthazar in The Magician's Apprentice, as well as a man who thought he was a vampire in Vampire's Kiss. Now, John Travolta also resembles minor historical figures, and as an open outspoken Scientologist, he holds beliefs about reincarnation. Not only that, but both himself and Cage may have hinted to their feud through their movie roles in Face Off, where Cage plays a terrorist and Travolta plays an FBI agent, each trying to outdo each other and each swapping faces with one another. In at 4, the Illuminati killed the real Slim Shady. In the early 2000s, Eminem was one of the biggest rappers on earth and was seemingly everywhere. However, after his 2004 album Encore, he decided to take a 5-year break before coming out with Relapse. So why did he take the break? Why did it last so long? Well, according to some conspiracy theorists, the Illuminati tried to recruit Eminem, and when he refused, they killed him via a car crash. Then the Illuminati fabricated a new Eminem to replace the old one, which is why his voice sounds a little different. However, as we know, the real reason for the break was because of Eminem's writer's block, which he attributed to drugs. Coming in at 3, Stephen King killed John Lennon. So if you think back to part 1 of this video, you'll remember the conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney died in '96. Well, now there's yet another theory about one of his fellow bandmates, John Lennon. As we know, John Lennon was killed by Mark David Chapman in 1980. However, this theory states that that didn't actually happen, and instead he was killed by none other than Stephen King. Yeah, that's right, Stephen King. According to theorist Steve Lightfoot, King must be the real murderer of John Lennon because King looks like Chapman. He had permission to commit the murder from Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan, who were both frustrated by Lennon's pacifist efforts. As we know though, Stephen King is not Mark David Chapman and did not kill John Lennon. Coming in at 2, Taylor Swift is a famous Satanist. Yes, I know this one sounds crazy, but just hear me out. Taylor Swift was born in 1989, however many have pointed out the fact that she looks a whole lot like Zena LeVay, a Satanist who was on the Sally Jessy show sometime in the 90s. However, in 1990 she resigned her position in the Church of Satan and severed ties with her father Anton LaVey and his church. Now this slightly debunks the theory, but saying that, I've never actually seen Taylor Swift and Xena in the same room together. Have you? And finally, coming in at number 1, Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing. Now this is perhaps the most popular theory on our list and one that many people actually believe, surprisingly. The theory that the moon landing was faked has been around for a long time, with some theorists believing that Stanley Kubrick dropped a few hints to this fact in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was released a year after the moon landing. However, the theory that Kubrick fabricated the footage of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon has been reinforced by a purported interview Kubrick gave where he supposedly confessed the entire thing. I quote, "It is impossible to get there. 2001 was very ambitious, but that's not to say that faking the moon landing was not ambitious. But I learned things from making 2001 and that's why I got this gig in the first place." Oh boy, what do you guys think? Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? Were there any celebrity theories that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another Beyond the Screen vid. And until next time, see you later.